Give me 2 seconds here. Let's go back to the radar first. Again, severe thunderstorm warning. We have a pair of warnings. It's all for the same storm that's working its way through. It's just as this line continues to progress. The first warning, it will pass through this area before the time frame. So it's 2:37 right now. This warning runs till 3. The secondary area runs until 3:30. And again, this line starting to move in. It's kind of 3 facets we're watching. The warning is in place due to the potential for quarter size or larger hail and wind gusts up to 60 to 65 miles per hour. Heavy rainfall is going to be an issue as well as the storm system starts to move in. Again, it's sitting just on the northwest side of Waco right now. It has not quite made it to the lakeshore area, kind of working into China Spring. It's pushing towards the Waco Regional Airport. Let me take you to, do what? Oh, just a second. All right, let me take you to our Skycam here. So this is going to be the view from downtown Waco right now, and you can kind of see this is looking north, and I'm going to go, the Alico building's going to be blocking some of it, but there's that kind of a mean looking area here. Now this is what we call a shelf cloud here, so that's a sign of some of that strong winds pushing out. Now these storms are going to have some ugly looking, mean looking little clouds underneath them, and you'll sometimes see them streaming up into it. Those are what we call scud clouds, the way it looks right now on all this. Again, we also have our own CD Finley. He's out in the Weather Explorer out on the northern side of Waco right now watching this storm as well. I'm in contact with him, and again, it all looks to be more wind driven. He looks like he's out near the Waco Regional Airport, out in that area there on the China Springs side of the Waco Regional Airport. He's watching, and again, mainly just a wind concern. Yeah, he's circling there around the edge of the airport, so we'll continue to watch his view. Let me switch to another camera. I'm going to go a little further away and see if it gives us much of a vantage point from more on the southern side of town. And yeah, you can kind of see that as well. All right, so let's go back to the Skycam here. This is Skycam again you're seeing from downtown Waco. This is going to be on the southern side of Waco. This is looking from the Hillcrest Hospital. And again, that same, you kind of see a little bit of that little shelf here. So that's a sign of winds pushing away from that storm. So this is kind of, if you think of it kind of like a plow pushing, that's what this kind of does, that wind pushing down, pushing away from, and that's what that cold front that's sliding through, pushing this front into the city of Waco. So if you live in Waco, the storm's starting to get rather close to the Waco area, again, right on the northwestern side right now, and we could see winds up to around 60 to 65 miles per hour. Right now, the wind signature doesn't look as strong as what it has been. I'm going to take a look at the direct winds from the radar. We're getting, let me switch over this, no, it's base. So we're getting some flares up. You get those bright reds. That could be in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range. But again, it's not that extreme wind we're showing. It is getting close to Waco Airport, so we'll start getting some reports from the airport coming up soon to give us our first real glimpse of an actual airport observation of these winds. But the hail is an issue as well. Hail core starting to come up some there out in the China Spring area. Between Golson and China Spring, they're kind of on the, so right up in that area there. Hail core about a quarter size, maybe could get some $50 with that part of the storm as well. That storm out in Coryell County, we've been watching that one closely too, a developing hail core with that storm. No warning as of now, but I would think up to near quarter size hail a possibility with that storm, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. We did get some confirmed reports of quarter size hail up on in Hillsboro when that storm passed through there. A couple different reports of that. But that's the only official. We did also get some flash flooding reports up in Clifton as that storm moved through there as well. So we're going to do another cut in on air. So stay with us here on our Facebook page and on KWTX.com and our free weather app. We'll have an update or continue our updates with you as well.
This is a KWTX First Alert Severe Weather Update.
Meteorologist Brady Taylor here in the Weather Authority First Alert Forecast Center. I want to show you our Weather Explorer. It's out near the Lake Waco area and the airport. And actually, the winds come down just a little bit from what first that strong wind line just hit our Weather Explorer. They've been out trying to stay ahead of the edge of the storm, but really feeling the brunt of this storm moving over. They had to pull over because they were worried about driving. So he said visibility down to nearly nothing is what CD was telling me as that storm moved in. Again, they are near the Waco airport. That's with a strong storm that has a severe thunderstorm warning that is working its way into the city of Waco right now. Mainly the worst of the storm is kind of on the northern side of Waco right now. Developing hail core that could be from the China Spring area up towards Golson. And that area where CD is right up here, again, right near the Waco Regional Airport. So the winds are going to be strong, and it's a lot of rain mixed in with it as well. So you don't want to be out driving in it, even if it doesn't get to those 65-mile-per-hour winds. But strong winds, some hail starting to work into the north and western side of the city of Waco. So here's Lakeshore Drive here. So rain starting to pick up out towards the Bosqueville area to China Spring. Nasty weather right now in Golson. It's moving in towards areas like Lacey Lakeview, eventually towards Belmead. This is going to work down into downtown Waco as well. And I'll give you a quick view of what it looks like from downtown Waco, looking towards these storms that are just about to make their way into the city or into the downtown area. So this is the view from our Skycam looking across downtown Waco, and I'll kind of take you, and you can see some of that heavy rain that's falling there as well. So again, a pretty strong storm. That the worst of the winds are probably going to be on the northern side of Waco to Lacey Lakeview, Belmead, stretching up towards Elmont, TSTC, areas like that, as the storm crosses the I-35 corridor. But again, a severe thunderstorm warning, nothing tornadic with this activity, but again, some strong winds that are pushing their way into the city of Waco right now. Again, we could see some 60 to 65-mile-per-hour winds. Just got a new update on the radar as that now rain is starting to cross into the northwestern parts of Waco. So coming close into Cameron Park Zoo, areas like that. It's going to be pushing towards Waco Drive that you see here. And again, pushing towards the I-35 corridor. Rain already starting to pick up there, again, just north of Lacey Lakeview, so up around the TSTC area. And then again, this line is going to have with it 50 to maybe 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's also going to have with it some very heavy rain and possibility to hail up to at least quarter size, but that hail core does look like it's starting to pick up a little bit more. Yeah, let's see what the latest estimate is. Showing $50 is what the radar is showing. So quarter to $50 size hail, and this is sitting right on and just on the north side of China Spring Highway there. So through parts of the China Spring area, could move into the parts of the Bosqueville area, over towards around, say, the MCC campus area, and then pushing down into the Belmead area. We'll have another update here on air shortly. We're continuing our streaming coverage on our free KWTX weather app, our Facebook page, and KWTX.com as well. Okay, give me 2 seconds, folks. I got to get a quick drink of water if I have my water bottle with me. All right, excuse me on that. You get talking for 45 minutes, it gets hard to not have a dry throat. All right, so we're continuing our coverage for people that worry when the weatherman takes his jacket off because it's getting a whole lot worse. Not completely that. It just gets really warm in here between when our show times are. So it's the try to keep the weatherman from sweating too much as well. All right, so again, the storm's starting to work its way into the Waco metro area as we speak. Our Skycam view is just not looking quite as bad when it comes to any like super straight line wind indicators compared to what it looked like earlier. It's a little more ragged, which would be good news, but still a nasty looking storm. Again, this is the view from the Hillcrest area and a little bit more there. You kind of get this, when you kind of get this kind of horseshoe look here, that's kind of where it bows out like that. That can be winds kind of pushing through. The camera view you're seeing, that's C.D. Finley out in the Weather Explorer near the Waco Regional Airport. They pulled over. They were trying to stay out in advance of the storm. Front caught up with them, and yeah, that's where they ran into the fun. So again, this is kind of the leading edge of this big storm system. You can kind of see again that bowed out area there. That's that leading edge where that wind is going to start working in and impacting you as it moves its way into the city of Waco as we speak. So again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect. We've got a pair of warnings, but they're all for the same thunderstorm. It's just different timing as the thunderstorm moves east. Now, elsewhere across central Texas, we have a severe thunderstorm watch, but there's no warnings elsewhere. Right now, the storm activity, it flared up a little bit on the northeast side of the Gatesville area, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some near quarter-size hail with that sail as it moves between Gatesville towards McGregor. But the strongest part of the storm, again, northern McLennan County into Hill County. This is going to move into Limestone County. As of now, quiet in the Bell County area. Now, as these storms continue to move south, they're going to move into unstable air. So we're going to continue to see this threat for these strong to severe storms. Gusty winds and hail, the main threat with this activity as it continues to work its way down to the southeast as well. Yeah, a lot to keep an eye on. And then, okay, yeah, we can take that one. We're going to continue our coverage here. I appreciate everybody watching. I mean, I don't know the exact number on our app and on our website, but I know we got 1,000 people at least watching on Facebook. So, and I know there's 5,000 questions on Facebook. Unfortunately, I can't answer all those. I'm going to try to touch on everything, and then we're going to periodically jump on. We're jumping on as quickly as we can on TV without messing up everybody's TV coverage. Good thing is you're choosing to come here just to watch this. TV folks, a lot of those want the weather information. That's why we're giving them to them quickly, but a lot of them wanting to watch their show as well. Amanda did say, Amanda Olander there, that they're getting a lot of small hail in Bosqueville. So that kind of picks up with that. Again, that hail core, and a lot of these hail cores will do this. Now, the estimated hail size is probably going to be decent size there on the northwestern side of kind of west of I-35. So that blowing through Bosqueville. But what it's picking up is what could be the biggest hail, not all the hail. A lot of times you'll get the small hail, and then you'll get some of those bigger chunks that are kind of mixed in with it. So again, we could see radar estimating, I think, $1 to $1/2 size there. Yeah, just on the north side of the Waco area. And this will continue to slide through Lacey Lakeview. So again, through parts of Bosqueville, northern side of Bosqueville, moving there towards along the Bosque River and working towards I-35. So again, we're going to do another cut in on air. Hold on just a second.
This is a KWTX First Alert Severe Weather Update.
Well, if you're watching your show worried we're taking over your programming, we're trying to cut in periodically with commercial breaks so you can still see your show but still get the updates you need on storms. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a storm working its way right into the Waco metro area right now. It's really the northern half of Waco dealing with the worst. We've had viewer reports of some hail falling in around the Bosqueville area. We've got a hail core that could be around $1 to $1/2 size that's working just north of Loop 340 right now. It's going to move into the Lacey Lakeview area. The southern side of Waco, I don't think the impact's going to be as bad. I do think we're going to see some decent rain move in, but there's another core that we're watching out in the kind of Coryell City South Mountain area there from Gatesville eastward. This will be pushing towards Oglesby, Crawford, McGregor. It doesn't look as strong, but definitely going to bring some heavy rain, could bring with it some gusty winds as well with this storm. So again, a pair of warnings, all for the same sail. It's for this same kind of line of storms, but it's as it continues to march east. So the warning for the Waco area westward runs for another 11 minutes, runs till 3 o'clock, and then has been extended with a new warning that runs until 3:30 that covers the west or eastern portions of McLennan County into the western portions of Limestone County, southern Navarro County, and eastern portions of and southeastern portions of Hill County. So this area pushing towards Hubbard. Anytime we see it kind of what we call bow out there, where you see it kind of push away, that's typically areas where that stronger wind will be. And that potential is going to be there from the Waco area, particularly north side of Waco, all the way to the Hubbard area. The video you see there in the corner, that's our Weather Explorer. They are, I think, at the Steinbeck and China Spring Road intersection there, if I knowing the conditions are right there. But they're already got hit by the wind, hit by the storm. Now they're kind of riding with it as the storm's moving through. I'll also show you what it looks like from our Skycam that's in the Waco area, but on the south side of town. This is the view from the Baylor Scott and White Hillcrest Hospital there, looking towards this storm. And then in downtown Waco, ooh, yeah, it is definitely hit downtown Waco. And that's where that nastiness of downtown is. So yeah, just give me 2 seconds. I have to touch base with my 16-year-old son to make sure he's not out in the storm. All right, so we're going to have another cut in come in here in just a couple of minutes on air. We're continuing our coverage on our KWTX weather page. Okay, all right, we'll stay on here. Never mind. We're going to stay on a little bit longer here. And again, we apologize interrupting your programming with it moving through a major area like this. We'll stay on this a little bit longer here. But again, nothing tornadic with this storm, but the strong wind threat, that heavy rain concern, is moving its way through. And yeah, just a nasty afternoon with this storm rolling its way again. This is what the view is in downtown Waco right now. So if you don't have to get outside, definitely a time you don't want to mess with it for sure. All right, so kind of recapping. Let me start, kind of go back out wide because to give you a whole view across the area. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect that covers all of central Texas, runs until 8 o'clock this afternoon. The setup today is very different than what we had yesterday. Yesterday we had an explosive amount of instability or fuel in the atmosphere that could set off pretty much bombs that would go off. And that's what we saw down around the Coppers Cove area with that storm that produced that tornado down in Burnett County. Today, it's not as unstable as it was yesterday, but we have a better mechanism to cause the warm, unstable air to lift up and cause thunderstorms. We have a cold front moving through. So the potential of tornadic activity looks low. It was pretty low yesterday as well. But that straight line wind threat is there along with the hail, although not all these storms are going to be extreme severe storms, but heavy rain, some winds at least 40 to 50 miles per hour, and quarter-size hail will be in a lot of these storms that we're dealing with. And again, we got this kind of hail core and wind threat that's working its way through the northern part of Waco. So in this dark kind of purple shaded area there, we're talking about $1 to $half size hail that's moving through Belmead, Lacey, Lakeview, working, going to start pushing into the La Vega area there east of I-35 and start pushing east of the Waco area. And again, from downtown Waco northward is where the worst of this storm is, and it is working along the I-35 corridor as we speak right now and is going to be pushing its way eastward across I-35 and into the eastern parts of Waco. Now, I want to give you a perfect example. If you have seen any of our shows, we show, I got to switch on here. We show a sky cam that looks across the Brazos River from the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame over towards McLean Stadium. It's there somewhere. That shows just how blinding the rain is and how that wind, you can see it pushing across the river there. So that's those 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. There's TxDOT camera there looking over I-35 at how nasty it is as well. So yeah, good time to stay inside. We're going to have some schools starting to let out pretty soon. Hopefully they'll wait till the worst of this storm moves through. Again, strong winds, the main threat with this activity. We did get a report from emergency management of at least nickel-size hail downtown. We've been getting reviewer reports of upwards of quarter-size hail and quarter-size and smaller from the Waco Airport to the Bosqueville area that we've been watching with this storm as well. I'm going to check real fast what the Waco Airport picked up on its latest. Sorry, 2 seconds here. So the Waco Airport strongest wind gust was 54 miles per hour, so close to severe winds there, but again, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. And again, that's just in one little location, so it can vary a lot from location to location, but 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, heavy rainfall, quarter size or larger hail possible, particularly from the northern side of Waco, upward into the Lacey Lakeview area, Belmead, stretching up towards the west area. And again, it's really right in this area, that dark shaded area. That's the hail core with this storm, and radar going to be estimating, I think it's overestimating. We've had some issues from this one particular radar where it's been getting a little on the crazy side because it's showing tennis ball size hail. I don't think it's that big, but we probably could see up to about golf ball size hail. It's flaring up for sure in that area, and a lot of the data showed us that some of these strongest hail cores could be going up to around the golf ball size hail that we're watching with this as well. So, so yeah, it's one of those, if you're out driving, stop, let the storm pass. The good news is this isn't going to be one that's going to last forever kind of thing. It is a storm that's going to blow through. Everything will calm back down. Ton of lightning with this storm, ton of heavy rain with this thunderstorm as well. Again, the worst of the severe threat, and again, that potential, that large hail threat is sitting right on I-35 from kind of a University Drive, the MLK, northward up through the northern parts of Belmead, Lacey, Lakeview. Again, radar just showed a scan potential of up to tennis ball size. I don't believe it's that big, but again, could have golf ball size hail developing in some of this core that again is right along I-35 right now. So it's pushing towards Highway 84. So if you live in the Axtell area, it's going to move near you or just to the south side of you. Hallsburg, Trading House Reservoir, Riesel, Mart, all these areas. I'm giving you enough warning time, kind of like we did in the Waco area, that this storm that's moving at about 25 miles per hour could be working its way towards your area and could bring with it some pretty nasty weather. And again, it's this leading edge here where those 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, and then this area here where that hail core is with that storm that we're watching, that threat of those 60 mile per hour winds, and again, maybe upwards of golf ball size hail that's falling with this storm as it's working now right along and east of the I-35 corridor. So let me check the speed on this again real quick, and we'll put a track on this and kind of see. I believe it's still moving at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Again, to give you a little bit of an idea, a little planning of the kind of the speed roughly on this. And again, don't take these as complete ground truth, but gives you at least a little bit of a lead time on what we're expecting. So could start moving the Robinson area right about 3 o'clock. Battle Lake area about 3:10, Riesel about 3:15, and then we're talking Levi about 3:30. Same story in Galinda and Perry, and then we already start talking about out in the Limestone County area, Mahia, Fort Parker State Park out there about 3:40 to 3:45 Groesbeck in that same time frame, about 3:50 as it works its way your way. So again, no warnings out for those last 3 towns that we called out, but this storm has shown a history and likely going to be running into more unstable air as it continues to push down to the southeast. I'm going to look at the current temperatures right now. We've been watching this closely just to see, and now without even putting the temperatures on, you can see where the cooler air right up in front of the rain, more unstable air, just because by the colors, as that heat builds in, it causes the moisture really to bubble up in that heat and humidity. So we're going to be watching as these storms move into our southeastern counties. That may be the area that opens up the door for some of that larger hail. It's 58 right now in Waco. That's how much this rain-cooled air has impacted the conditions in the Waco area with that rain that's been moving its way in. So again, latest conditions right now in central Texas. 2 warnings we're watching, all due to one complex of storms. Now, if you live in the Bell County area, this storm has not been severe, but we've got a decent thunderstorm that's going to bring some heavy rain, maybe some small hail, gusty winds, and it could increase in intensity as it continues to move down into warmer, more unstable air. So we haven't talked a lot about Bell County because we've been talking about the storm up to the north, but that storm will be heading your way. Let me put this in motion, kind of show you the overall trend of everything. It's moving kind of in an east-southeasterly direction, and this has kind of been building down to the south as well. So we're getting rain and storms starting to move in the clean area. Nothing as strong as what Copper's Cove dealt with yesterday with some of that. There was upwards of nearly a few areas that got nearly grapefruit-sized hail in a couple locations. And again, this activity is going to be sliding towards I-35 from the Waco area all the way down towards Temple. Right now, the worst of the storm is from the downtown Waco area northward up towards areas, starting to move east of I-35 towards Highway 31 there between the Axtell area, Mart and Hubbard. But again, this hail core right here that's sitting on top of the Belmead, Lacey, Lakeview area up into areas again around the TSTC airport, the Conley Air Force Base area there, that's going to be sliding east. So again, Axtell, Hallsburg, Riesel, Mart, Trading House Reservoir, those are a few areas that we're watching very, very closely as the storm continues to work its way to the east. Let me give you another update on the hail core with this storm. Still showing big. Now it's shifted a little bit up to the north, but it's still kind of screaming at us with that potential of maybe golf ball to tennis ball size. I'm going to see, we haven't had any updates of anything from the National Weather Service that, let me refresh this. I think we're, of anything over quarter to $half size that's been coming in. But yeah, this storm definitely still on the nasty side as it continues to work its way towards I-30 or across I-35 and continuing to push its way towards the east as well. Let me show you what our, all right, let's go back to the regular radar view here real quick. Kind of show you what we got going on across central Texas. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning, the first part of the warning just expired. Oh, sorry, my computer is acting up for me there. But now the second part of that warning from that cell that's shifting east, and I just told you that there's a chance that storm intensified a little bit. New warning now issued for Bell County. It now covers the southern half of McLennan County down into the western portion of Falls County and a large portion of the central and western portions of Bell County. This warning runs until 3:30 as well. This is a storm that could produce quarter-size hail and up to 60-mile-per-hour winds with it as well as it continues to push to the east and to the southeast. So again, if you live in the Temple Belton, up towards Troy, Salado, you're under this warning up and down all of I-35 in the Bell County area under this particular warning right now that's working its way east across the Bell County area. I'm going to show you what the view from our Deadfish Grill there on the Lake Belton area. You can see the kind of working in that eerie looking cloud. We got C.D. Finley there. I was keeping an eye on some of the high water. I think they're out there that he's watching coming across some of the roadway there. They're in and around the Waco area monitoring everything that's going through. Brad Vaughn, he's a Belmead guy there, so he knows all the areas where that water will probably pile up there in the northern side of Waco. So again, heavy rain, hail potentially up to, I would say, $half size maybe an isolated up to golf ball size hail up in this northern part of particularly there north of Lacey Lakeview, coming right across the TSTC campus right now. And this is going to be moving out towards where the split there is between Highway 31 and Highway 84. So this is going to be working towards the town of Axtell out here as well, pushing towards Riesel, pushing towards Mart. And that storm is going to, again, pack a punch of some high winds that could be up to around 60 miles per hour. Hail that could be quarter to maybe $half size, with some isolated potential that we could see maybe up to golf ball size. The golf ball registry that we're seeing is just on radar. We have not had any ground confirmation of any hail that big, but that is definitely a possibility with this storm. And again, the area we're talking about with that is on the north side of Waco through Belmead, Lacey Lakeview, again up to around the TSTC airport area, and then going to be sliding eastward as this storm kind of moves east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Again, the Bell County part of the storm, let's take a look at the hail real quick. The hail core is definitely not as bad, so we're probably talking some pea-sized to maybe some isolated quarter-size hail with this storm. Winds have still nothing crazy with it, so I think this one's going to be more of your kind of decent thunderstorm. Does have the potential of producing the strong storm activity, and what I really anticipate is the National Weather Service put this out knowing that this storm is going to continue to likely intensify some as it works into a more unstable atmosphere that hadn't been worked over as much. So the possibilities of this intensifying is what we're continuing to watch and see. There are some high water issues that they're watching with our Weather Explorer. And be careful, folks. If you go over water, you don't know how much it's moving. And again, a lot of these little creeks like we're seeing here, they're going to get swollen a lot faster than what we would typically have with this style of rain, just because the ground's so saturated and all the water that's been flowing in from these heavy rain storms. Let me give you a timing on this storm here in the Bell County area. Check the speed on it real fast before. So it's going about 30, 35 miles per hour. Okay, yeah, let me get this track and then we'll. All right, so we'll put it at 35. I would rather be early than late on these timings here. So this is kind of the rough timing that we've got on this. So again, it's pretty close to Moody right now, crossing Highway 317. So just about in Moody right now. Same story with Harker Heights. Belton about 320, 25, roughly about 330, and Temple close to that in the Salado area as well. About 340 to 345 in the Chilton area, a lot about 350. Then we're already getting past 4 o'clock. We start talking about this storm getting down towards Rosebud, Burlington, and then we start talking about Milam County and areas. Okay, so you got a view there at I-14 Fort Hood Street there around the Colleen, Fort Cavazos area. We're going to check in real quick. I've got photographer Brad Vaughn and CD Finley. They're out in the flooding area. Poor CD the other day chasing got some allergies and can't really talk. So Brad, what are you seeing out there?
Right now we're at 19th and there's kind of a lot of water on the road right here. Cars are having a little hard time getting through. You may be able to see some of the pictures of that on your screen as cars are coming around this corner and not realizing that is a very low water crossing right there.
Have y'all ran into other areas like that, Brad?
A lot of rain. It's kind of slowed down. Yes, Brady?
I said, have y'all ran into other areas with that? And how bad was the wind when y'all drove through it earlier?
The wind was pretty bad earlier. We ended up getting stuck near the Waco Regional Airport because we ran into some pea into nickel-size hail with a lot of high winds, and we couldn't. Our visibility was very, very, very short. We had just about 100-foot visibility in front of us. Had to make the decision to pull over to the side and kind of wait it out.
Well, glad you are keeping safe there. Thanks for your report. And again, folks, just take it out there. A lot of these little low water crossings definitely going to be an issue. So again, we'll check in with Brad and CD that are out in our Weather Explorer with all this activity as they continue to work their way across Central Texas, giving us a view. And again, here on the radar right now, again, a little bit wider view. We've got a pair of warnings that are really impacting areas up and down the I-35 corridor. In the northern McLennan County area, it's really this cell here that's the strongest right now. It's shifting east of I-35, so now starting to move towards areas like Riesel, Axtell, areas like that. Winds about 40 to 50 miles per hour, can't be ruled out with this storm. Could also see some $50 or larger size hail with this storm as well, and very, very heavy rainfall. Again, as you can see with that shot there, they're talking about the people driving over that low water area. You got to be careful with that. All of these storms are going to produce the heavy rain potential. We already have flash flood warnings in Bosque and Hill County. That's from the recent rain that moved through. And as these storms move over areas that have already dealt with the heavy rain from recent days, the ground just can't really deal with this as well. Strongest part of the storm again is there in the eastern McLennan County area. That's going to start impacting more of Limestone County. Bell County, the storm is not as strong, but it is strengthening and does have the potential to at least produce some maybe up to $50 size hail, but right now it's quarter size or smaller is what the radar is showing. We'll have to see how this system does as it starts moving in a little more unstable air. But from Killeen, Harker Heights, Nolanville over to Belton, Temple, Troy, you're going to be dealing with, if nothing else, some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, but the potential of maybe up to 60, 65 mile per hour winds and hail up to around quarter size. The camera view you're seeing there, that is from the Lake Belton area. You can kind of see, kind of has that little kind of horseshoe look to it. We had that same look from our sky cams in the Waco areas right in advance of that storm system moving in. So again, kind of shows that ability or kind of a visual sign that we can look at that this storm may have the potential of producing some strong winds. And again, that's looking from the Lake Belton area off to these storms are off here in the distance. So it's going to be working over Lake Belton towards the Morgan's Point, Moffett, Blora area, and then eventually into the Belton and western Temple area and pushing towards I-35. There's nobody in Bell County going to miss out on this storm, kind of like with McLennan County. Now, as you move up in the northern part of this little line here, so here's McGregor, here's Moody. You can see a little bit of a bulge with that. So we could see a little enhanced wind working towards Highway 317, and then that'll push east towards Lorena, Bruceville, Eddy, could impact Troy as well. So any of these thunderstorms will have the ability to produce winds that could be 40 to 60 miles per hour. The camera view there now looking over I-14 there at W.S. Young in the Killeen area from our Killeen Bureau camera view there. And kind of show you what it's looking like. What they're looking at is that good heavy rain right there. Good news is we're not seeing any crazy winds with that, so just getting some heavy rain. But you got to remember, we had pretty good heavy rain near that area and west of there yesterday, and a good bit of heavy rain on Wednesday as well. Zoom out and take a look at the hail cores in these storms real quick, kind of show you what we're watching with these storms. Again, the biggest concern, and it doesn't look as bad as it was earlier, and this one, you know, yesterday the radar was underestimating hail. Today I think it's been overestimating it a tad. It did earlier show tennis ball hail, and we have not seen anything anywhere near that. So it's showing $50, so still in that quarter to $50 size that we would anticipate. There near McGregor, got a little hail core that's starting to develop there in town and just on the west side of 317 down towards Oglesby. Could impact Mother Neff State Park. Bell County, hail hasn't looked to be much of an issue. There could be some little pea size, maybe up to penny size there near and north of I-14. Another little pocket there just on the southern side of Killeen as well. Some heavy rain, possibly some, and you can see there, that's that same camera view. See how much the rain has intensified just in the last few minutes as that core of that thunderstorm continues to work its way across I-30 or I-14 there in the western Bell County area. Getting reports from some viewers flooding on several parts of MLK, stretching from I-35 over towards the Lakeshore Drive area. So again, these areas that you get closer to the river in a lot of these low-lying areas, you got to take it slow, you got to take it easy. That heavy rain threat is going to definitely cause some issues and concerns there. And this is behind the severe storms. This is where the runoff, this is where that heavy rain continues to cause problems. So taking it slow, taking it easy. Again, the severe area is really working its way towards Hallsburg, pushing towards Mart, over towards Riesel, Axtell as well. So it's going to be working down Highway 84, down Highway 6, eventually down Highway 164, exiting out of McLennan County, pushing into Limestone County as we go over the next 15 to 20 minutes as well. Again, getting some other viewers of some small hail at times in a few other locations. Right now, we've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. It's all due to this one big line of thunderstorm activity, but it's kind of 2 different segments that we're watching. Neither looking quite as impressive as they did earlier, which is good news, but still an area of just tremendous rain. Again, hail that could be up to around quarter size and maybe some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds with this leading edge of the storm. Torrential downpours going on across much of the metro area of Waco and honestly a large portion of McLennan County. Got the hail core here east of I-35, another little hail core that's working across the McGregor area, pushing across Highway 317. So from Hewitt down towards Lorena, Bruceville, Eddy. Really haven't had much yet, but again, a decent storm working its way to your area. Same story. The camera, we just switched there from the Killeen area. This is closer to the I-35 overpass, if I'm not mistaken, right, guys? Yeah, so I-35, I-14 area there. So again, so we went from where it's nasty to still got a little while before it gets there. So again, if you live from not quite, maybe Nolanville, you're probably getting it now, but again, if you live in the Belton area, Western Temple area, Troy, still got a little time to get where you need to. I know this is a bad time for thunderstorms. School's starting to let out and stuff like that. You again, make sure you plan accordingly. We don't want you driving out in some of these intense storms as they're pushing their way through. But we do have the potential of hail that could be up to around quarter size, winds that could be near 60 to 65 miles per hour. We're getting a new update from the radar. Right now, I would say the best potential of that higher wind is probably sitting in around the Moody area right now, crossing over Highway 317, working its way down the Highway 7 area. That's going to push again over towards Bruceville, Eddy. The radar just not looking quite as indicative of extreme winds down into the Bell County area, but again, that hail core definitely still could be there, and winds up to around 40 miles per hour. The purples you see there, that's about the pea to nickel size hail. Still got that about quarter to maybe $half size hail sitting between Highway 84 and Highway 6. So this will be from Axtell south up there just in the northwest of the Riesel area. It's going to be pushing through Hallsburg, Mart, maybe Riesel as well, as this continues to move east and southeast across the eastern portions of McLennan County as it continues to work its way across our area and pushing into our eastern counties. Bell County area, I-35, this is continuing to push right towards the I-35 corridor. Nothing tornadic with any of this activity right now. It's all just straight line winds, hail, and very, very, very heavy rainfall that we're seeing with this activity as it's moving through. Good news is we had the one little blip there on the radar where it was showing potential of a golf ball size or larger hail, but we haven't had any reports of anything coming in from viewers that we have or storm spotters that are out of any just crazy, crazy hail that's been going on. So that's definitely good news there as well. But again, a storm you don't want to be out or about with. These warnings, the Bell County warning goes until 3:30. I believe the other one is till 3:30 as well. So both of these warnings have another 15 minutes left on them, and then we'll kind of see where they go from there. The National Weather Service typically will let these run through, and they're taking in observations. They're looking at the radar data with us to see is stuff matching what would be potentially severe, to see if they're going to extend or issue new warnings with these. But again, that line, let's put another track on this, moving at about 35 miles per hour to kind of the east-southeast. So kind of go to where the leading edge of this would be moving out. Kind of some rough timings on this. So Temple about 3:35. Seaton about 3:50, Lott roughly the same time as well, between 3:50 and 4 o'clock around the Holland area, close to 4 o'clock in Rogers. And then we start talking more moving into Milam County areas like that. Buckholz, an area could get there around 4:20. Now get past the 3:30 time. These are areas not under any warnings right now, but an early heads up, kind of a first alert that if this activity holds together the strength it is, you could have some hail that could be up to quarter size, winds of 60 miles per hour. Even if it isn't severe, you got some heavy rain that's heading your way. And again, the winds at least are going to be 40 miles per hour in just about any storms today. And that heavy rain threat could cause some flash flooding concerns. And pretty much all the storms are producing some of that hail that could be up to at least pea to penny size. View you're seeing there, that is from the McLean Children's Hospital looking off to the west, northwest, down in the corner of the screen there. And that shows that kind of leading edge of this storm. Now, little bit of good news, it kind of has more of a barreled kind of look to it compared to sometimes you'll see what looks like a real just plowed kind of look. There is some strong winds with this, but again, it doesn't have the extreme like winds that would be talking about the 70 plus mile per hour winds. But again, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds definitely a possibility, and kind of give you a view of what this is looking at. So this is looking from the southern side of Temple here off. So it's looking, actually more looking kind of in this direction here. So it's looking at more of these storms off in the distance there, because it's looking across the Loop 363 off to the northwest from McLean's Children. So soggy mess in the Killeen Harker Heights area. It's crossing over I-14, starting to move over the Lake Belton area, the western side of Temple into parts of the Belton area out there. So from Blora, starting to move into the Nolanville area. Morgan's Point, you're going to be one of the next areas that it starts to move in. Then we'll start approaching Highway 317, Belton High School, UMHB, areas like that. Getting a new scan here, and it's still pointing at that higher wind potential that just pushed through the Moody area. Here's Highway 7 right through here. So it's going to again be pushing towards Bruceville Eddy, I-35 from Lorena down to Troy. That's going to start getting a little nasty as this storm starts pushing towards your area. If you're planning to be on I-35, one, it's not fun with the rain that we're seeing, but you also got to remember any high-profile vehicle going up and down a north and south roadway with strong westerly winds pushing from this west to east moving storm can cause some issues with just keeping control of cars. So we need to keep both hands on the wheel, but extra space. Watch out for those 18-wheelers. Those guys and gals that are driving those are battling some nasty conditions right now. It is hard out there on the roadways dealing with all these concerns that are going on. Again, strong storm activity in the eastern portions of McLennan County. Falls County, Marlin, you're not under a warning, but you got a pretty good soaker that's starting to work its way in. The hail core of this storm still sitting right near the Riesel area and to the north. Show you what the latest hail core is. And yeah, it's come down, but it's still got a little bit of that quarter hail possibility. So what we've been seeing with some of the recent reports is kind of a good bit of small hail, but there is that potential, that quarter size hail that could be mixed in there. Again, east of the I-35 corridor. This is going to be out around Axtell, so between and southward there down towards kind of the Trading House Reservoir, Hallsburg area, and then potentially Riesel, Battle Lake area out there that could be dealing with this. Another little hail core there right on the Moody area, just on the western side of town between there and Mother Neff State Park. Radar indicating some potential of upwards of quarter-size hail with that storm as well. So that's going to be rolling into the town of Moody, crossing Highway 317. Bell County, fortunately, not looking as nasty. I mean, again, that storm looks ominous there that you can see from the Temple area, but radar not showing quite the crazy indications that we were dealing with or seeing earlier with some of these storms. So that's good, but I still anticipate some at least 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. And again, the potential of at least a P to maybe nickel-size hail with this storm as it's rolling its way into parts of the I-35 corridor there in the Temple area. So this is I-35. This is in the Eddy, Bruceville Eddy area. There again, storms. This is looking south, right? All right. So the storms will be moving in from the right side. So get my bearings right. It's becoming this way on the screen. Get turned around on these green screens looking around. So yeah, we would be seeing it come from the right-hand side of the screen from west moving to the east from the way we're looking there. And that would give us a view as the storm system starts to roll its way onto I-35. It's got a few more minutes before it makes it there, but that's the view that we're seeing. Trying to see if we were anything that were nothing new when it comes to the warning that we're seeing right now. We'll give you, starting to see, we got about 11 minutes for these current warnings and then see what the Weather Service is going to do about potentially reissuing any of this stuff. Back out a wide, just kind of again show you the setup. This is our third straight First Alert Weather Day that we've had across Central Texas. Wednesday brought with us some pretty good storms, some heavy rain. Yesterday was those isolated, very strong storms, and really there were two of them that were bigger impacts in our area. One over the Coppers Cove area down into Burnett County, and then the other that brought heavy rain and some hail pretty much parked right over the city of Hearn. Today, we don't anticipate probably as crazy of hail with these storms, but there are the potential of some storms that could produce some golf ball size hail with these storms as they move through Central Texas. 60 to 65 mile per hour winds and this locally heavy rainfall. You can kind of see that leading edge pushing there across I-35. It's getting close to getting the I-35 corridor. We have a pair of severe thunderstorm warnings that right now run until 3:30. The storms look a little more ragged than they did as they were approaching the Waco metro area. So again, don't look quite as mean when it comes to the severe potential, but I wouldn't be surprised if these get extended. I think I've lost my feed with the National Weather Service, so see if I got it back. There we go. All right, so the small yeah, so it looks like they're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning. All right, so yeah, I'm getting some new data. Sorry, a computer was getting mad at me. All right, so got some nickel-sized hail up in the Whitney area, passed along by them as well. Sorry, dealing with their chat, they're having some data issues getting the data out. So again, right now we're watching this severe thunderstorm warning that only has a few minutes, 10 minutes left on it. We'll see if it gets extended. Again, heavy rain really the biggest concern with this right now. Again, it looks more ragged when you start looking at the potential of straight line wind concerns where you see all this kind of just clouds all over, or the radar echoes all over the place. Typically, we want kind of a straight line showing that pushed out that wind potential with this, but there still could be some 40+ mile-per-hour winds with this storm. There could be some hail cores that could produce some quarter-size hail with it. I-35 from Waco southward starting to get a little nasty. You can see this little green line here. So that's showing some little outflow winds that are pushing through the Troy area. That's likely moving into the central and northern portions of Temple as well. That's where we got the potential of maybe some of those 40 to 50 mile-per-hour winds. Strongest part of this thunderstorms could have upwards of 60 to 65 mile-per-hour winds with this storm as it again works towards the I-35 corridor, pushing towards the Temple and Belton area. So it's going to be pushing into that area. Again, this area doesn't look quite as intense as other parts of the storm, but again, locally heavy rainfall. There could be some, at least some pea to nickel size hail mixed in with this storm as it works its way towards I-35. If there's an area where we're worried about the hail core would be along and west of I-35, it's going to be there in the Moody area right now. Radar, showing still that hail core sitting right in and around there. So this is where we got the best chance of quarter-size hail near and up just on the northern side of the Moody area as this storm continues to work its way just across Highway 317. Another core there with that quarter-size hail there just to the east of the Perry area. So that's Riesel eastward, south of the Mart area, south of Highway 164, and that's going to be crossing the county line from McLennan County over into the Limestone County area as this storm continues to move its way to the east as well. All right, so both these warnings again as of now run till 3:30. Again, I apologize. Normally we have a good stream of communication with the National Weather Service. There's been across the board with the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center some computer issues that have been going on that have caused some of their websites to have issues. So we've been dealing with that lack of communication at times, unfortunately. All right, so down in Coolidge. Sorry, I was looking to see, getting some signs of some, that we had a storm spotter say that they saw a little bit of a potential wall cloud up here a little earlier up around the Coolidge area, but that wouldn't be in an area that we'd be worried about any potential areas with that. Got some power outage issues that we're getting in some areas. Also, I know a lot of folks, they may use the NOAA weather radios. That looks like that's gotten knocked off air. We're getting a report from the ham radio operator desk actually at the National Weather Service. That may be due to some power outages near Moody. And I know we got Jessica Rajkumar we're going to check with here in just a second. She's showing some of the power outages. Are we good to check with her real fast, guys? We're good. Okay. Trying to check on my end if we're, okay. Okay, we'll get her in a second. Quarter-size hail in the Dawson area. All right, so, okay, Jess, we can toss over to you and kind of get a look. She's got a look at the power outages thanks to these storms that have been moving in.
Okay, where do you think we should start, Brady? Kind of anywhere? Okay, right now.
Let's go to the Waco area.
Let's go to the Waco. Okay, so we're taking a look. You can already see kind of this red area. I'm not going to say what the colors mean, but obviously we know red. There are more people impacted. But if we're zooming in, we can look right now kind of where that storm is hitting. Look at the amount of dots that we're seeing, Brady. Right here along Highway 6 and 84 when we're seeing it intersect. Look at how many areas. There are a lot of residents in that area, but we're seeing numbers like 25, 50 plus. 2 customers affected here, and then if we zoom out, we can kind of see that final count, 2,000 customers affected in this area. Now, if we're going a little bit away from Woodway and coming up into Waco, and we tap on here, let's see, around over 200 customers affected. And as we're kind of going up into the Cameron Park area and to the heart of Texas right here into downtown, we're seeing kind of 25 customers here, along 2 customers there. But just a lot more, and Lacey Lakeview is seeing outages as well with 81 customers affected right now. But as in this area, Brady, right now, it's kind of the bigger areas that are having more cities and residents obviously are dealing with the power outages. But here, right in Waco on the northeast Riverside, 200 customers affected. But let's take a look out of McLennan County. So we're zooming out right now as we're heading towards McGregor. We're seeing 80 customers without power and Encore. And then in Hewitt, around 82. Robinson area is 59. So this is a lot going on right now in terms of outages. But if like if you do have Encore messages, just make sure and text them, and that they can get the accurate information of how many people are actually out. But right now, the main of what we're seeing, Brady, is in McLennan County. There are still some spots in Bell County, but right now, the main outages we're seeing are in McLennan
All righty,
County.
thank you, Jessica. Yeah, a lot of those power outages, again, that's due to that straight line wind, just strong storm threat that was rolling through there. And this is going to be, you got to remember, these great men and women that go out to fix a lot of this. A lot of this is going to be tree limbs. A lot of this is going to be just power lines that have issues. And again, we really got to get the storm out of here before we start getting major improvements with that. But again, some power outages due to this strong storm that's moving through. So again, warnings right now officially running for a few more minutes. Again, we're going to have to wait to see if the National Weather Service extends this. Right now, most of these storms producing in that 40 to about 60 mile per hour range that are rolling in through this activity. But again, we're waiting to, oh, all right, so we finally got the new, all right, so here's the new warning that came through. We've got a new one that runs through all of Limestone and Freestone County. So that's, again, this line continuing to work its way towards the east. Again, this warning is going to run until 4:30 for areas in Freestone and Limestone County. So this is going to include Mahia, Groesbeck, Thornton, Fairfield, Streetman, Teague, Dew, just north of the Buffalo area. Storm is moving a lot faster than what storms have the last couple of days. It's moving east at about 40 miles per hour. Could have, again, quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. So your very standard severe thunderstorm that's moving there. Again, it hasn't shown any tornadic concerns. These are all just severe thunderstorm warnings that were moving through these areas. Again, that gusty wind and hail threat, very heavy rainfall continuing as well. I want to show you just over the last couple of hours the totals. Not as extreme as we've seen the last few days, but we are adding another inch to inch and a half at least of rain on top of this high totals that we've seen the last couple of days. Storms are stacking right on top of the I-35 corridor as we speak, from Hewitt to Lorena all the way down towards Troy, starting to pass east over the I-35 corridor, and will continue to shift east into parts of Falls County as well. I-14 a mess as well. The view you see there, that's from the Baylor Scott and White Hillcrest Hospital in the Waco area, but nasty weather up and down I-14, likely non-severe, but there could be some smaller hail mixed in, very heavy rainfall, and again, that 30 to 40 mile per hour winds that are up and down the I-14 corridor, and then starting to get a little nastier there in that stretch between Belton and Temple there on I-35. Some of these areas got some low-lying areas, particularly off of the I-35 corridor. In and around here, you get over around the Leon River and stuff like that, where some flooding concerns. We also got to keep an eye on Nolan Creek. That's an area there in the Belton area that can collect a lot of water in a very short amount of time as well. Hail-wise, we've got a few little hail cores we're watching, but they're not as intense as what they have been. Some nickel to quarter-size hail there in the Nolanville area, working along I-14, probably in that nickel-size hail ability right there along between Highway 317 and I-35 along Highway 7 there. Bruceville, Eddy, areas around Lorena could see a little bit of that as well. This eastward portion of the storm definitely has seen the hail threat come down, and that's definitely good news as it's working its way into Limestone County. Right now, I would say you got this area just east of Marlin, a little hail core there. Again, right around the Bruceville, Eddy area down to the north side of Troy, and then this area right here around Nolanville. Those are the three areas where we could see the nickel to quarter-size hail mixed in with these storms, along with that gusty wind threat, and that may start to be a little more of the concern here. May see a little more of a developing straight line wind concern with this area here that's pushing east towards Highway 14. So from Mahia to Groesbeck, doesn't look too crazy windy, but again, the heavy rain picking up there. So from Mahia southward towards Groesbeck, but as you go from Groesbeck to Thornton to Cossie down to Bremont, as this line pushes in here, that's starting to look more of an indication of potential of about 50 to maybe 60 mile per hour winds with the radar signature that we're getting with that storm as it's shifting its way eastward towards Highway 14 there. So again, very heavy rain with it as it's moving its way through. Again, nothing more than straight line winds or hail concerns. None of this activity showing anything of any significant rotation inside of this. We've had a few reports out of Limestone County of seeing some structure with this activity, but nothing. I'm switching with, we're kind of in between radars here. I'm gonna look at one thing real quick before I Yeah, so there's a little broad kind of in this area off to the Thornton area. With these lines like this, there's just so many different ways the winds are blowing and acting with this stuff that it can cause some brief spin up. But again, right now, nothing that's any worry for us. The view you're seeing there, that's still in the Waco area looking up north up I-35 at kind of the nasty weather that we're seeing in and around that area as well. So we've continued. Oh, okay. Yeah, got some traffic concerns. I-35, I'm sure a nasty, nasty mess right now. It looks like we got some first responders having to do some work there on the I-35 corridor right now as some activity there. Again, this would be from the Loop 340 area northward is kind of where we're looking right there. So the Central Texas Marketplace on your left-hand side, Top Golf, all that on the left-hand side, Cinemark, kind of looking northward from there is kind of where we're looking at. With that, I was going to kind of see what we're, yeah, there definitely some showing an accident in that area right there, kind of right in front of the Cinemark. So they're working some nasty conditions there. All the roadways are going to be nasty, whether it's with accidents from the rain or just the nasty driving conditions that are ongoing right now with this activity as well. All right, so let's take the lightning off here. Hey guys, could y'all bring up the camera over on the touch screen? I know how to work that thing a little bit better where I can show you down by the zip code and stuff like that. If y'all bring that one up, I'll just walk over there here in a second. Yeah, go ahead and take. We, through Snowmageddon, we learned how to work this stuff pretty well. All right, so colors here are going to be by zip code, and we've got the radar data on top of it, so it's going to make it a little nasty, but again, the northern part from Belmead, so this is 76705, over 500 customers. You get up around the Bosqueville area, parts of China Springs, 76708, we've got 800 customers. Again, these are individual houses, not people that are impacted with it as well. Bell County, we're not quite as bad, but we've got some areas there around Harker Heights. That's only showing. So, I mean, these are just minimal 40 to 50 customers there on the southwestern side of Killeen. Again, so really it's the northern parts. So we've got kind of the worst core here. So Hubbard area there's 600 customers. I mean, it's a large portion out around Dawson without power. Hubbard, 600 customers as well. So that's half the customers in the 76648 zip code without power. Every single customer in 76639. So that's in Dawson without power currently by Encore. Over 600 or at 690 in the Hillsborough area. So this is what we're watching here when it comes to the zip codes by areas. And then if we go by counties and kind of show you again, McLennan County and Hill County are going to be the worst. McLennan County, 2,700 customers out of the 110,000. Hill County, 1,300 out of 9,000. Again, you could tell where the strongest winds of that storm were. Again, Bell County, still not great conditions out there. We only have roughly 70 customers out of 172,000. So again, the wind definitely having a bigger impact on McLennan and Hill County. We'll continue to check that. Kind of helps us give us a little visual compared to those individual dots that we're looking at. But again, the worst of the storms now, really that one that caused all the wind damage now sitting on top of Mart, working towards the I-14 area there. So yeah, thought I'd show you that real quick. So again, the wind usually has a bigger impact. Rain can cause us some problems, but you've got to, I mean, you put the rain and the wind, and tree limbs are going to start having issues. And with the ground starting to get wet now more, you're going to get just some overall trees are going to have a little more issues as well. So this is looking Belton northward, I think so. All right, I-35 looking north. So on the left-hand side, that would be where the storm's starting to work its way right into the Belton area. Let me also look and see how our sky cams are looking in that area. But yeah, we're switching between those. We've got our Weather Explorer out. We've got all our sky cams. We're trying to give you as much visual indications. Also helps me in here to know kind of what I'm seeing on radar corresponding with what we're actually seeing out in the real world out there. So this is the sail that brought some of the wind concerns across northern McLennan County and Hill County. So again, some 40 to 60 mile per hour winds really starting to work right onto I-14 right now. So Mejia, Fort Parker State Park, Groesbeck, Thornton, Cossie, right up Highway 14 there. You've got a pretty good storm that's going to bring with it some high winds, possibly some hail. Again, we're going to be watching in the Kasi area. There is the potential of some hail sitting right off to your west. So there's a pretty good hail core right along and just north of Highway 7, right there on the eastern side of the Marlin area, right around there, just on, again, right north of Highway 7, just outside of town. Talking about a $1 to $half size hail with that particular portion of the storm there. I don't think we've got anything else that's real crazy hail core. It's been in this area. We've kind of seen it pulse and come down, pulse and come down. We've also been watching at times with that sail there between Belton and Nolanville, but again, it's nothing too crazy with that hail core, particularly right now with that storm. Oops, sorry, I'm turning the lightning off. There is a ton of lightning with these storms as well. So they've been noisy, they've been windy, they've been heavy rain producing, and at times hail producing storms. I think we've dodged the major threat when it comes to a lot of this hail. We did get that one core we'll have to go back and kind of check on around the Lacey Lakeview area to see how big it got there when it pulsed right along I-35. Warnings still continue for Bell, Falls, the south and eastern portions of McLennan County. The severe threats coming down in McLennan County is really heavy to moderate rain that's shifting in. Falls County, we've got one area here that's moving towards Highway 77. So Lott, Travis, there where the Rosebud Lott schools are there. Rosebud, it'll be sliding down your area. And then we've got this other one that moved through parts of Marlin. Now it's shifting from the Reagan area over towards the Highway 14 area there. It's going to go towards Groesbeck and Thornton. Early heads up, it's going to be working towards Lake Limestone, and eventually all this is going to be pushing into parts of Robertson, Leon County, Freestone County. You're already under a warning as well. The Limestone and Freestone County warning, that runs until 4:30. The warning for Falls County, that includes the McLennan County part, that runs until 4:30 as well. I don't expect the severe threat to last that long there. And then Bell County 4:30. So all these warnings kind of right along this leading edge of this kind of a cluster of storms runs until 4:30. Again, winds about 45 to 50 miles per hour, pretty norm in this activity. And again, that hail concern that could be at times up to around quarter size with some of these storms as they're working their way through as well. We've had power outage concerns with some of these storms as they've been working their way through. Again, Jessica had a look there. I showed you again where it's really the northern parts of central Texas where that biggest hail or wind concern has caused some of those power outages to be a little more numerous across some of our counties. Again, of course, Hill and McLennan County particularly. So again, Limestone County, it's right on top of Highway 14 that this storm is kind of working its way from Mahia to Groesbeck to Thornton, down towards Kasi. Eventually Bremond. Bremond may miss this initial one, but you'll have some backup activity that's moving in through here. So this line's going to continue to shift down to the southeast. I did see someone asking about tornadic concerns on our Facebook page. Now, we're not worried with anything tornadic with this. As of now, nothing's showing any signs of any tornadic worries or anything that's spinning with these storms. They are heavy lightning producing wind at times, maybe 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, heavy rain, hail at times up to quarter size. And again, those straight line winds, it could be about 50 to maybe 60 miles per hour. This activity is going to continue to slide southeast. For most areas of central Texas, that'll probably be all we deal with. There could be some isolated activity behind this. I know from a son that plays baseball, and I'm friends with a lot of coaches, I have been getting blown up by this is the second round of the playoffs for high school softball and first round for high school baseball. And a lot of coaches trying to figure out, there's turf fields, but they're still having some issues trying to figure out how these storms are going to impact. I was down at the state track meet this morning watching some athletes compete, and they moved all of the 2A and 5A runners. They're worried about storms. They moved it to tomorrow, all planning according to how these storms are impacting everybody's lives out there. But again, the strongest of the storms now right along I-35 in Bell County, east of I-35. The worst of it's out of McLennan County. We still got the heavy rain there between Waco, Hewitt, Lorena, Bruceville, Eddy, down towards Troy. But that wind concern is usually right along the leading edge. So it's pushing a little more towards Lott and then east of Marlin and right up in the Highway 14 area. And then starting to watch a little activity there in the western and northwestern portions of Freestone County, approaching the I-45 corridor, and then again stretching all the way down towards Groesbeck, Thornton, down towards the Marlin area, and pushing its way towards the east. All these warnings lined up along this nearly solid line. It's kind of broke into two kind of pieces. We got this piece here that's in Limestone County, and then this other piece that's down in the Bell County area that's sliding its way eastward across the counties there. kind of recap here. So, guys in the control room, I think plan to okay. So yeah, what you're seeing here is the Dead Fish Grill. I think kind of what we'll plan to do is maybe stay on all this till 4 o'clock, and then we'll roll into our 4 o'clock show. Even there, we're going to continue to bounce back and forth. Weather is still the number one thing we're talking about. But again, I apologize to any viewers on TV interrupting when this tornadic activity, if it's in our viewing area, we're going to cover up. But then we deal with these storms that really roll through a major metropolitan area and showing impacts. We like to be there to provide anything. And with it being in this time frame where a lot of folks were trying to pick kids up from school, getting off work, there's a lot of lifestyle impacts that can we got to let people know what's going on. Flash flood wise, we've only got the 2 flash flood warnings. I guess one that covers 2 counties, Bosque and Hill County. Rainfall wise, we've had some pretty healthy rain that's been falling. We've been seeing some inch or higher totals that have been showing up in a few locations. Again, I put 3 hour. Most of this rain's fallen a lot less than 3 hours, but you see in a lot of pockets there where we're showing some 2-inch or higher totals near and west of I-35, and these totals will start going up significantly east of I-35 as this line continues to shift eastward and move through. Again, on a wider view, what we'll have to keep watching as we continue to move through the rest of the evening is a severe thunderstorm watch runs until 8 o'clock this evening. It covers all of central Texas, but our north and western counties, you're pretty much already done. Again, we got the flash flood warning that's up there for Bosque and Hill, but that threat will be shifting down to the southeast as the evening goes on. So most of us, it will not be a threat that lasts all the way through 8 o'clock this evening. But again, those storms threat will continue to shift southeast as we continue to go through the rest of the afternoon and evening hours, and still have the potential. We still have some very warm, unstable air across our southeastern counties, and that could still continue to keep that strong storm threat alive. So Milam, Robertson, Leon County activity hasn't made it towards you yet, but again, these storms in Bell County will be moving into Milam County, Falls County, that's going to be working into Robertson County, and then that Limestone County activity, parts of Robertson and Leon County as well. So again, these storms we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on as they continue to move down to the south and to the east. Look at something real quick here. Oh, all right. I was just looking, we got a little notch there with this storm here, and I was just double checking to make sure nothing velocity wise or wind wise was having any issue. You know, kind of like yesterday, tornado was not the number one concern. But when you get a bunch of storms, sometimes you can just get enough spin that it causes some issues that you want to definitely make sure. And one fun part when we're doing this continuous coverage like this, I'm looking at the data the exact same time you are, so we're trying to analyze this as it's moving through. We're having some issues. Yeah, so I-35 Elmont area, they've been having some issues trying to clear out drains that's causing some delays due to high water, so just be careful. Again, with all this rain, all it takes is a little debris. It can clog up drains and cause some issues with some of this activity. We're getting several reports of some quarter-size hail in Moody. Same story in McLennan County, down in the Temple area as well. Yeah, some of the latest that's been coming in from the National Weather Service on this activity moving in. So the strongest, again, of this activity right now is working its way right along Highway 14. So it stretches from Mahia, again, around the Fort Parker State Park area, Groesbeck, Thornton, likely even stronger there just from Cossie to Thornton, but pass through the Reagan area, and there's a hail core sitting there right along Highway 7. So it's going to move right near the Cossie, Thornton area with a hail core there. It's going to be about $1/4 to $1/2 size. Radar is showing at least a little portion of that with that $1/2 potential with that storm. So again, hail core with that, winds could be about 50 to 60 miles per hour as that storm pushes along the Highway 7 across the Highway 14 area. Same story. We're getting a new radar scan that was just coming in. That again, that storm working its way into Lot. You can kind of tell just by the color here. We look a lot, and you kind of see that purple where we're not seeing darker red. Definitely some heavy rain, maybe some small hail, but that hail signature a little bit better in this area here along Highway 7, stretching over to around the Thornton area. So better hail potential there. Still the wind, heavy rain that's crossing over Highway 320, working towards Highway 77. So from Rosebud to Lott, Chilton, you're already dealing with some pretty good rain. That wind threat coming down where you are particularly, but it's continuing to work to the east. Bell County, we're getting quieter out to the west. Killeen, just some light showers. Same story, kind of light to moderate rain in Nolanville and Harker Heights. Still heavy rain along the Excuse me. I've felt that coming on for about 30 seconds there. Heavier rain along the I-35 corridor. The signature definitely not looking as well for any high wind. We're looking, there's from the Belle Meade area on I-35. You can see not a lot of traffic moving that one direction compared to the other. But yeah, traffic definitely still moving slowly there, but could see a little surge in wind. This is pushing down towards Highway 95 there. Here's Highway 190, so Little River Academy over towards the Holland area. Could see a little surge of stronger winds. But Belton, Temple, areas like that, Troy, that wind coming down. Now it's just more the rain concern that you're dealing with. The most likely area that we're dealing with hail concerns, again, they're just along and north of Highway 7 and along Highway 14. So from Thornton to Cossie, east of the Marlin area, east of Reagan kind of areas is that we're watching with that potential of a quarter to $half size that, again, right now is right on the Highway 7. So it's going to move near Cossie, cross over Highway 14, some pea to nickel size hail in and around the Thornton area with this storm as it continues to move southeast. Hail core coming up a little bit there on the southern side from the Cadence Bank Center there, where the Bell County Expo Center there, east of I-35, a little bit of a hail core where we could see some quarter-size hail developing in that area. Let's show you what the radar looks like in that area. So yeah, right where this little darker shade here, kind of showing where some of these pockets of hail could be working through at times. And that was kind of in that same area we were talking about, that wind that could be a little more of a possibility. The intensity of the rain coming down, some in Waco, but still a good bit of rain falling. We're getting some breaks out in China Spring, Crawford, McGregor. And again, after this one particular wave moves through, we'll start to see those rain chances come down. We're going to continue through at least the early evening hours, be watching in our southeastern counties. Now, there's a lot more storms down to the south where severe potential continues. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for the easternmost portions of Milam County, all of Robertson, and a good portion of Leon County. So Centerville, Leona, Jewett, over towards Franklin and Hearn, east of Cameron. So none of the bigger towns in Milam County under this warning. It's more in the northeastern kind of rural areas as you go from Rosebud down towards the Hearn area is where this storm up here near Lott could have an impact. It's really this area that's near the Cossie and Thornton area that we're watching the most, and that's going to move down towards Highway 79. So from Franklin over towards the Jewett area, areas like Marquay could eventually have to deal with this kind of storm there on the intersection of 79 and Highway 7 that we're going to be watching. Centerville under that warning as well. So again, the biggest hail core right here just on the Highway 7, some potential nickel to quarter-size hail there around Thornton on Highway 14. Watching, again, some at least potential hail cores. It could be around the Lott area. And again, just on the kind of southeastern side of Belton near Cadence Bank Center east of there. So that's going to slide over Highway 95 near Heidenheimer, Holland, Rogers, Little River Academy. Some of those areas that this hail could move near. And again, some 40 to maybe 50 mile per hour winds with kind of the leading edge of this line. The wind threat not looking quite as impressive as it did. Yeah. We're going to show you some video or pictures. I'm not sure which we have. All right, so this is Hillcrest Lakeshore Drive. Okay, so yeah, all right, so that Hillcrest and Lakeshore Drive. So that's the on the left-hand side there. Got the church that's right there. So looking down Hillcrest, kind of the trees there got snapped over, unfortunately for the folks parked right there. Showing some of that wind. This is some of the hail, and this kind of mixes in too. So this is from the Lacey Lakeview area, and I had several people reporting to me a lot of smaller hail. Now, and sometimes these storms can produce a lot of smaller hail, or at times produce less hail but bigger chunks. But fortunately, looking at a lot non-severe, but dumping a decent hail there. Looked like a snowing at times. Another viewer sending in some video here. That wind and hail, you can see down their steps there. Again, some of that pelting down of some of that smaller hail that was coming in. So this is kind of fitting in the narrative. Most of the hail, again, moderate size, but a good bit of it coming down. You can see wind even brought down a few little tree limbs there at times. But again, that heavy rain and hail, nasty weather. Yeah, you just kind of looks, kind of that nearly look soapy look there. That's all that hail floating in the water there. So thank you to everybody that's passed along videos to our newsroom. There's through Facebook. What we really appreciate if you just send it to news@kwtx.com. That goes straight to our newsroom. weather at KWTX.com is great when there's more than just me here in the studio. I got CD out in the Weather Explorer, and so it's hard for me to check the email, but our newsroom they're working diligently there behind the scenes, getting all the info and collaborating words, agreeing with what I'm seeing as this activity comes through. All right, let's get back to the radar, show you kind of what's going on with this activity. Again, we're watching right from around the Groesbeck, Thornton, Bremond area. This line, particularly south of Groesbeck through Thornton, Cossie towards Bremond, that's where the hail, potentially up to around quarter size, is falling with that storm. Could have some high winds, heavy rain for sure. A little hail core there trying to work near the Lott area. This could work towards around Travis, down towards the Rosebud area, crossing over Highway 77, but again, maybe up to around quarter size. At times, this little area here, just to the southeast of Belton, pushing down towards Heidenheimer, Little River Academy has been showing at times to flare up a little hail in it, and still doing that. So again, that potential of seeing a little bit of maybe up to nickel to quarter size hail that's going to try to slide down towards Little River Academy, towards the Heidenheimer area. So Highway 95 could go across Highway 190 there in areas east of I-35. So Heidenheimer, Little River Academy, Rogers, kind of areas where this would eventually slide down towards as this storm continues to slide down to the south and east. So we've got a large portion near and east of I-35 that's got severe thunderstorm warnings, all really due to this cluster of storms that are sliding to the east and southeast. So let's again been a little while since we put a track on any of this activity. So let's get the latest on the speeds on these storms. Again, they've been picking up in speed a little bit, going about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So moving to the east and to the southeast. So we'll draw this first part here. Disregard that real quick. I didn't draw the map very well, so I ran into the edge of my map. All right, the leading edge of this, we're gonna go 35 miles per hour. So this would put it around the Marquay area, around close to 430. Lake Limestone 410, Buffalo close to 430, 435 time frame, and then starts to get towards Centerville and Leona close to the 5 o'clock hour. So still got a little while before it works its way completely through Leon County, but it will eventually work towards the I-45 corridor again, Leona, Centerville, and eventually down towards areas like Normandy, working down into parts of Madison County as this activity continues to work its way down towards the southeast. Now this other cluster that we're watching here, again, it's going to be working to the east and southeast as well at about 35 miles per hour. So I'm going to kind of put a rough line there on this. So we'll be talking about areas like, again, Rosebud, it's pretty much knocking on your door right now. So it's a little, I drew it back here for the secondary area. So Cameron close to 430, Calvert around 445, Franklin, so we're getting close to the 5 o'clock hour. So again, plenty of lead time. Again, that's why we call it first alert branding. We want to first alert you, let you know this stuff's heading your way. And give you enough time to plan. Right now, areas out in advance of this, what we're watching is the chance of locally heavy rainfall, hail that could be up to around quarter size, winds that may be up to 60 miles per hour. We showed you the video earlier there in the Waco area. When you get winds like this, it's just random trees that have issues. You don't know which tree limb's weak or which tree particularly is weak, and all it takes is a 40 to 60 mile per hour wind could snap that tree over. That running into power lines, that starts causing some of those power outage issues that we've run into in some areas. And then again, the hail can definitely be an issue. Right now, the biggest hail core is right here, sitting right on top of Cossie. So we're kind of on where the county lines come together of Falls County, Limestone County, and Robertson County here. So Bremond just barely missing out on it, but really up around the Cossie areas where that hail core is sitting really the most impactful right now. They're right along Highway 14 and Highway 7. So, and right now showing about quarter size is what we're seeing with this storm right now as it's sitting right in that area. So $quarter to $half size hail sitting right on the Cossie area as this activity continues to move its way east and southeast. Lott still got a little hail core there, not as significant, but could get at times up to around quarter size. Same story there, just south of Temple, east of Belton. Right, Heidenheimer Academy, again, right there on Highway 95. We got hail that is a possibility with this activity. That's going to cross over to Highway 190, could eventually work towards the Rogers area with, again, that moderate size hail that we're watching with that thunderstorm as it continues to work its way east and southeast across Bell County. So again, we're going to continue our streaming coverage here for just through the end of this hour. We're heading into KWTX News 10 at 4. We're going to continue to have very significant weather updates, give you as much lead time with any of these storms. Now, our western counties, we're pretty much in the clear. We still got some spotty little showers, and there could be some redevelopment at times a little behind this, but nothing in the way of anything significant or severe. We've got this wave moving through here, and then a lot of activity down to our south. Now, everything we've been watching has been severe thunderstorm. We do have one tornado warning way out in the hill country that's not going to move down to the south and southeast, but a tornado warning there between Mason and Junction out in the hill country. For us, just severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place. Again, winds 40 to 60 miles per hour. The biggest hail core we're watching again right there on the county lines of Robertson, Limestone, and Falls County, kind of right on top of the Cossie area there south of Thornton. Again, if you live out near Lake Limestone, a little early heads up. This storm could bring some hail your way. Again, those gusty winds could be a concern. Right now, if I had to pick out some areas where that wind definitely kind of surging, we watch kind of these areas like this right here where kind of what we call bow out, kind of like if you pulled back on a bow and arrow, kind of that bowed out push. That's where winds are pushing out a little stronger, causing that little surged out look. I would say probably 50 to 60 mile per hour winds is probably what we're watching in that area there. And then again, in this area right here, and we're getting a new, okay, right when I drew it, the radar updated. There's that hail core that we're watching that now is shifting east of the Cossie area. But Marquez, you're going to be right in the potential bullseye of this as this continues to work its way kind of your area. So again, we're walking right down Highway 7. Here's Highway 79. So it's going to be crossing out of Limestone County into northern Robertson County, sliding east and southeast as the storm continues to bring that threat for that hail that, again, quarter to $half size is what we're going to be watching with that storm as it continues to work its way down to the south and to the east. For our south and eastern counties, you still want to stay weather aware as we move through the rest of the afternoon. We will likely start getting updates from the National Weather Service. We're removing some of our north and western counties from this severe thunderstorm watch. The National Weather Service is slow to do this. They wait till there's an all clear before they really start removing counties. But now the threat is going to be shifting down to our southeast as this complex continues to slide southeast and where that warmest, most unstable air is. And speaking of kind of warmth and instability in the atmosphere, look how these storms have done a number on the temperatures and conditions across central Texas. It's in the low to mid 60s where all the rain has fallen. Now out in advance, we've still got some 80s. Now it's not as rich of instability as we had yesterday. We had some areas with temperatures in the 80s to 90s yesterday, and that was leading to that crazy kind of explosive style atmosphere that we had yesterday that led to kind of that extreme hail where we had even up to grapefruit size in an isolated account. And again, that tornado that touched down in the Burnett area yesterday as well. But a big complex still producing severe thunderstorm warnings across a good portion of our south and eastern counties. Most of these storms are kind of right at that threshold of being severe where winds possibly up to 60 miles per hour, hail up to quarter size. And again, the main hail core we're watching right now that's got the best chance of that $half to or quarter to $half size is going to be right there pushing east of the Cossie area, and it flared up again with that latest update where we're seeing some of that $half to maybe golf ball size hail. So we have not had any verified golf ball size hail today yet, but this could also, just the radar thinking it's bigger hail, but just a bunch of hail falling at once there right along Highway 7 east of Highway 14. Fortunately for the folks in Bremond, you missed the worst of that. Again, here shortly, just in a few seconds, we're going to go to KWTX News 10 at 4. Again, we're going to have updates throughout all of our newscasts. We're going to be here watching it. Again, we've got C.D. Finley and Brad Vaughn, our photographer, out watching the storms, and our Weather Explorer as well. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Bell County. The heavy rainstorm threat shifting in the eastern parts of Bell County, central portions of Falls County. Potential of maybe up to golf ball size hail sliding east along Highway 7, east of Cossie, and that will be heading into Robertson County, and we'll have more updates again. Let's head now into News 10 at 4.
Today on KWTX at 4, how a local organization plans to increase awareness and education on how diabetes affects the body. And it is time to start thinking about your summer plans. Moody Gardens in Galveston Island has lots to offer for the whole family. Plus, We are learning what makes a recession and what you can do right now to help your family make ends meet.
KWTX at 4 starts now.
Thanks for being with us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Lauren Westbrook. Justin Early is off today. This is a very fluid show, as it has been for the majority of this week because of the weather. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Brady Taylor with more on what's going on out there. Brady?
You aren't tired of me talking yet?
Not at all. Keep on talking, Brady.
I'm tired of hearing my own voice. Anytime I have to talk a lot, it's never good because we got bad storms rolling through. But yeah, we're continuing to watch showers and storms working through. We've been watching a hail core down around the Kasi area, but fortunately, what we're hearing from the National Weather Service, and we got some great emergency